Hey there, French Nibs again. Out here in the garage tonight, doing a little bit of goofing around. I went to the Baldwinsville Airgun Show this weekend, and actually I only went one day on Friday. My wife had some honeydew list items for me to do on Saturday, so I wasn't able to make it out on this Saturday day. But I had a lot of good interaction with folks, and bought one thing for myself. Well, a couple things, honestly, but one air gun for myself. Met up with several new and old friends. Mostly sat outside and shot air guns with folks and just chatted. Loved chatting with Lewis. Kept me laughing half the day, but really a lot of fun. I have a couple of packages here that were sent over to me by Mr. Chris. He is a channel member and channel subscriber, and I really appreciate his support. Got a couple of heavy boxes here I got to open up. I told him I wouldn't open them up until I was on camera. But before we get into that, I want to show you guys another awesome knife that I just picked up. Not everything on Amazon is made in China. I picked up this really nice, got fingerprints on it because I was using it today, but this really nice case sod buster, and this is this sod buster. So I have another sod buster that's actually right here. This one is an older one, I believe, from the early 90s. Actually, this says, I think it says 91 right on the 1991. So that's a 91 sod buster in black synthetic. This one actually had a born on day of last year, I believe. Yeah, 11/16/24. So it's not even a year old yet. So, but this is a amber bone. They call that the peach pit jigging, which I have another peach pit jig. Where's it at? Just had it out yesterday. It's up here somewhere. Nope, it's back in its box here. So I had another amber jig that I actually picked up from the local, and this one is a Stockman, really cool Stockman. But this is, I like these sod busters, just kind of a real traditional pocket knife. This one's really nice looking. So probably won't carry this one a lot, but I did order a couple of leather slips to carry some nicer knives in when I decide to carry one of those nice ones. But let's get into these. So I have a couple of air guns over here we're going to play around with and shoot, but we'll open up those boxes first, and then we'll get into shooting a couple of air guns. So this first one is a light one from Mr. Chris. Let's see here. Let me pick a knife. I don't think I have a knife to use over here. But let's pick one. Here's a little case Appaloosa bone pen knife that I picked up recently. All right, let's see what we got here. Like I said, I told them I would not. Oh, look at that. Really cool. So we've got a roll of, so this is the 3-inch, which I really like. I still have some over here. I was actually getting kind of low on the 3-inch, so that works out pretty good. Even though when I call Splatterburst, they send me as many as I want for free. I've got a roll of 8-inch coming in the mail right now. But those are the 3-inch with the 1-inch pasters. I actually use the 1-inch pasters as much as I do the 3-inch. I use the 1-inch pasters as a as an actual target. These ones I have not tried yet. Are these? So these are, okay, so these are not Splatterburst, but they're still splatter type targets. These are, we'll have to maybe stick a couple of those out on our target before we start shooting. These are Gear Oz splatter targets. Yeah, we'll give them a try. And then we have, and I have not tried this size yet. This is the 4-inch. I think they're the 4-inch, right? It doesn't say. That's either 4 or 5 inch. Yeah, I think that's a 5 inch. Yep. So we got the 5 inch round splatterburst target. So that was the first box. That's pretty awesome. Always using lots of targets. So, oh, now this next one's really heavy, so I can only imagine what's in there. Oh, oh my goodness. I did shake it. It makes a jingling noise, so I'm guessing there's something like CO2 cartridges in here, at least. Packing material. Okay. Let's see here. First off, we've got another pack of the Red Ryder BBs. Those are pretty awesome. I've been using those a lot here. Actually, here's the tub that I've been using right out here up on the bench. Cool. Another set of the can hats. I did actually buy a box of those as well to have for giveaways and stuff. So we have an empty R10 match. So there's a can of R10 matches. I like those. They're just a little bit more hand selected of the Meisterkugels as far as I can tell. All right, what are these ones? Rangemaster Sovereign. Never heard of those. 22 calibers, 15.89 grains. I am not familiar with those, so that'll be fun to try those out. All right, we've got some. These are ones that I always like. The H&N heavy 177 caliber wad cutters. Some more JSBs. I love those JSBs as well. All unopened tins. Really cool. Some of the Match Diablo lights. Always good pellets. Some more JSBs. These are the Match Diablos. This is an older tin, I believe. Pretty awesome stuff. So running out of room on the bench here. We have 2 packs of these Daisy wad cutters. These are awesome Plinken pellets. I've got a whole bunch of them in my drawer down here, so I really love those pellets. All right, we've got some Barra. Never tried these Barra wad cutters. I've got Barra round nose, and they shoot really good out of the several guns that I've shot them with. So those are awesome. I've never tried those though. All right, I've had some of these when I got my Walther and Baikal. Came with a couple of packs of these, and I've never bought more of these match pellets in the plastic tin like this. So that's pretty cool. The Vogels. All right, what else we got here? All right, we've got Norma match pellets. So Mr. Chris was telling me that Norma has discontinued making airgun ammunition. So that's kind of a bummer. I like the Norma ammunition. All right, we've got a couple more tins of the Merlin, Vogel Merlin match pellets, but these are in a can. So 2 tins of those. And those are 177s as well, so that's cool. I'm not sure they even make a 22 caliber. They're very much for like shooting competition pellets. Another pack of the Norma match wad cutters. Those are good shooting pellets. I've shot those quite a bit in the past. All right, now we're getting down to some real gold here. Some 2 packs of the old style Crossman Premier hollow points. Definitely running out of room up here. All right, we're getting down to the bottom of this box though. So we have a tin of the 7 grain Meisterkugels. Those are You guys know those are my favorite pellets ever. And then we have a tin of the 14 grain 22 caliber pellets. And those are awesome shooting pellets. And then we have, that was what I was hearing right there. These are, that's nice. These are the 8 gram, 2 boxes of the 8 gram, which is really nice because I have a couple of 8 gram guns out here. So I have several of the Healthways pistols, and then I have the old Benjamin, which I think I put up here somewhere now. Thought I did. Guess I didn't. I thought I'd moved it up here, but it must still be. It's right there. Okay. So the old Benjamin 352 from the early 50s uses these 8 grains as well, or 8 grams as well. So that is really awesome. So those are the stuff from the boxes. Now he did send a few other things. So he did send 2 pistols for me to look at for him. We won't talk about those for right now. They're nice pistols, but they need some repairs, and we'll talk about those down the road. Now, a couple of things he sent for me specifically to use as giveaways on the channel. We've got a pair of Christmas Wish Red Riders, and I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do as far as a giveaway. I'd like to get those in the hands of some youth if I can. So if you guys got any suggestions as far as a youth type of giveaway that I could do that would get that in the hands of, some young shooters. And then we've got one of these Marlin BB guns that are very similar to the Daisy Red Rider. It's actually patterned more. It's a lot of the parts are almost identical to the Daisy Red Rider. I have actually both of those right up here, but here's my Marlin. And they shoot really good. So again, that one would be one that I would want to probably use as a giveaway for a youth. So another one that he said he found a good deal on it, and he actually bought 3 of them. I'm not sure if he kept 2 or gave another one away, but he said he kept at least 1 for himself. This was still sealed in the box, so this is brand new shooting. I actually just shot 2 pellets out of it. We'll talk about that in a sec, just to make sure it was actually doing anything before I started the camera up. So this is a Beeman, what do they call this? The Duel. They call this the Duel because it actually has 2 barrels, and you shoot 2 pellets every time. You can't shoot just 1 pellet. So you cock it, it's a break barrel, and then there's 2 chambers here. You got to put 2 pellets in it. And so let's see, I'm going to use these shacks. I just bought these, so we'll talk about those in a minute. That's stuff that I bought from the airgun show. Good shooting pellets. So I found somebody selling them, having a really good deal on them. So I bought several tins. They don't shoot as good as my Meister Kugans, but they do shoot good. So anyway, this has an automatic setting safety down here. But here, let me bring it out. We're going to be doing shooting from here on out. So I'll bring you out to the shooting position. All right, so I'm going to shoot the same place that I shot before. I've got a target out there with 4 of those little 1-inch splatter bursts on it, and I was holding right in between the 2 lower ones just to find a point of impact, and it hit pretty much exactly where I was aiming. So I'm going to aim at the upper left splatter burst now. One of them hit the splatterburst, the other one was just off to the side. So that is that's pretty cool. So let's do one more, and then we'll move on to some of the other stuff. We don't want to make this an hour-long video, but I've only got two more items to show you guys for today. Just had an awesome time out there, though. It was pretty warm, but we sat outside. There had little pop-up tents, the little vinyl pop-up tents out there with a picnic table. We just sat out there and shot basically the whole day. This thing has a peep sight on it right now, and you can take that off and mount an optic on there. We'll probably do that down the road, but it kind of looks like a AR type of configuration. Got the fake magazine down here and stuff, but pretty awesome looking little. Yeah, the peep sight is not the greatest position. It probably needs to be up forward just a little bit more for me to get a good. Well, both of those hit the splatterburst that time, so that's pretty cool. We will definitely be playing. So this one is chambered in both barrels are 177. They also have models that are both barrels are 22 caliber, and then they also have a model which I think would be completely useless, but they also have a model that actually has a 122 and one 177 barrel. I mean, if you could like stop off a barrel and only shoot one of them, I could see where that might be useful. But having two different size pellets and everything, that would be a nightmare to get set up and ready to go. So one of the other things that Mr. Chris brought just for me to take a look at and do a review on, something I didn't even know existed, but this is an Airforce International. This is a Airforce International Indian. And it is a very unusual but very cool air gun. So it's very unusual in the way it works. So there's a little switch here. You got to push that forward, and now you've got your cocking lever here that you bring all the way around like that, and now you're cocked. So you can bring that back around and put it back down in place. I've not shot this one with this pellet yet, so I'm not sure where that's going to hit. I was shooting it with a different pellet. Now you put a pellet in back here. I'll show you. I forgot to show you guys, but and then all right, that's not bad. So let's do that again. So you push the latch forward, bring your cocking arm all the way around. And so now when you do that, it pops this breech open right here. You got to put a pellet in that little semicircle right there. And it's easy to load. Drop it right in there, and then you push the breech shut. And the last thing you got to do is actually close that switch right there, or else it won't fire. That locks, the trigger is locked when that is not pulled back. So all right, just hitting a little bit to the left, but looks pretty consistent for sure. Really, really interesting, interesting concept in a pellet gun, the way that it works. Oop, I pulled that one a little bit. Let's do one more. So Airforce International. Not familiar with this one. I don't even know when it was made or anything. I'll have to do a little bit of research on it before we do our review and playing around with it. So we're off to the left, so we'd have to do a little bit of, and I can see the trigger or the sight is like all the way over to the left on the adjustment here as well. So I'll have to play around with that a little bit, I think. All right, I'm gonna do one more. It actually is really fun. All right, one more. So we're all off to the left there. So I'm going to set this down over here. Now the last one is actually the one that I purchased myself, and it is a Hammerli, also marked as a Walther. So the sticker on the end of the box says it's a Walther. And this is a really cool target pistol. So the target pistol is not in the box, it's over on the bench, but it came in this really nice box, got all the accoutrements. So the only fill adapter that it came with would not fit any of my tanks, or so I had to order another a different adapter from, and luckily Pyramid Air had it, and it's actually going to be here tomorrow according to the tracking. But the gun does have some air in it, came with some air in it, so we can try it out and shoot it. Before we do that, I'm going to throw up one of these new splatter targets that Chris sent over. I've not tried this brand, so I'm really kind of interested to see what they look like. Interesting looking arrangement there. Stand by. Alrighty, back again. So really interesting looking target. But let's take a look at this pistol. This is the Hammerli, also marked as a Walther AP-20. So this is an AP-20. They have an AP-20 Pro, which has wooden grips. I think I like these plastic ones a lot. Well, I don't know about a lot better, but I like them. Got this really cheap for this. If I go by what's marked on, so I don't think this gun has ever been shot. I literally do not think this gun has ever been fired before I got it. If it was very little. But this tank on this is marked with a date code of 2013. So it is 12 years old already. So pretty cool. It's still got this plastic wrap around it that would come from new. But it did have some air in it. I don't know how much is left. I've been shooting it a good bit. Hopefully we don't run out in the middle of this video. But it is pretty awesome. So and that one's hitting off to the left too. I was playing around with it this morning, and I don't want to mess around with it until I get a chance to give it a full charge of air. So we're just going to keep the sight set where it is right now. Once I get it charged, full charge of air, then we'll work on getting the sights sighted in on it. All off to the left there. But such a cool gun. So you can also take, so this screws off, you got to screw this off, screw the fitting onto the tank, very similar to that, the Air Venturi, what is it, Match 10 or whatever it is, I don't remember. But that other Air Venturi target pistol I got, that's got the tank that comes out the end, you got to screw the tank off, put the fitting on. Uses two different fittings though. I was hoping the fitting would fit from that Air Venturi, but it doesn't. All right, we're putting them all in nice tight little group there. Let's go to that bottom one. Looks like we're getting some nice splatter there from those different splatter targets. But it's pretty cool. We'll be doing lots of head-to-heads with this, with all the other target pistols I got. What I was going to say though is you can, if you don't like, kind of looks like a grease gun or some sort of, paint sprayer or something right now, but you can actually take the canister off, flip this, there's 4 screws there, and you can flip this adapter around so the tank now sticks out the front, so it'll look a little more like a traditional target pistol. But it's shooting great, so we just got to get the sights adjusted, and it'll be pretty awesome. So anyway, longer video, but had a really great time. Lots of cool stuff. So many guns that I would have really loved to buy, but just I had taken enough money to buy a few, but I really I was a good boy. I didn't want to spend everything I had, but anyway, thanks, Mr. Chris. It was great meeting John, seeing Brian, all the other guys out there. Talked to several other people that I've met before, and it was good to see all those folks again. Hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.